So it was freshman year too. So I was sitting there and I raised my hand. I was like, I really don't understand. So right before lunch, I had biology class. And in biology class, how everything was, how scientifically everything played out. They think, you know what I mean? Or as they understand it scientifically. And then I come in here and you're telling me that it's this way.
Right.
So I'm like, what is it? I'm like, so what is it? Which is it? You know, how are we supposed to
comprehend,
understand when you guys are just in the length of a lunchtime contradicting yourselves? So you know what she told me? She sent me to Father Leo's office. And I walked into his office and he looked at me and he had just got off the little, the phone that they communicated with the office with and shit.
Uh-huh.
And he looked at me and he goes, well, that'll be enough of that. And I said, yes, sir.
Why?
Because
I mean, what is wrong with questioning
because
the
there's
Lord?
some,
I mean, aren't we
in their eyes, we're not that. We're not to question that, they say. That's what they say. That's not what. Because if you don't question anything, how the fuck are you gonna know anything?
But I mean,
he doesn't want you to walk through life dumb as fucking dirt either. You know what I mean? It's a pin.
Tobacco or?
No, it's weed. Northern Lights.
But no, I mean, I just don't understand why the Catholic Church is upset that we're questioning and trying to find out more about God.
What was the tree Eve fucking...
Did they just feel that hey, because we don't know the answers that we can't answer them and we should tell them it's wrong or what?
What was that again?
I mean, is it the priests and nuns that say, hey, we don't know the answers ourselves? I mean, how do we answer student questioning?
Someone knows the answer. That knowledge is somewhere.
But is it sacred? Is it secret?
Of course it's sacred.
It's sacred, but is it secret? Does it have to be secret?
Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. But everything that's hidden is truth.
Everything that's hidden is truth. Okay.
What was the tree that we weren't supposed to eat off of?
The tree of knowledge.
So why would they, whoever wrote the Bible, want us to not have knowledge? Think about that for a moment. Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm here.
Word. I'll see you in a second.
Somebody
Guitar player, Mike. So, check it out, brother. These are your quarters. Oh, you don't have to do that. You are quite welcome. Oh, let me fold this up. So I was doing some upgrading.
I was throwing horseshoes, so I got all
Shut up, sandwich. It's rude.
sandwich.
I
This is
graduated
Doug.
with him in high
Doug
school.
was, we went to high school together. Come on, beast, out of the way.
They gotta get somebody to feed their fish, you know.
Well, see, I come in a wheelchair
They're
there,
all, oh, and
so
Sammy loses
Sam
his
goes
fucking mind.
crazy.
I mean, loses it. I just put strings on this bad boy to pick this thing. Yes, sir. I don't have any tension on him yet because I didn't want to give any undue pressure on the bridge. You know what I mean? I don't see any reason to store it like that. Right?
Do you have any water, Chris?
Water?
Yeah, water.
Absolutely.
Straight water. 'Cause I need to take my pill.
Not if you're going to use it to shoot up or shake your road.
I spilled some. Have it. Hi, baby.
Now, flapping.
Yes, defer to the master.
Yeah. When in doubt, refer to your mouth.
Would you care terribly if I store this in the freezer?
Of course not.
So,
Casa es su casa. So, where do you think keeping yourself? Here and there. It's nice. You know, chaos. No. Here you go, mister. Do not spill it. Oh, let me get this. Sorry, I'm not trying to treat you like a child, but.
Oh, that's okay.
So, started writing a really cool song, I think. Yeah. I think, maybe.
well, you know, it will be, I'm sure.
Check this out, brother. So these are hybrids, I believe. He said, well, I can actually show you the bud that it's supposed to, that it will turn out to be. But I do
I'm
have
sorry, I
this
didn't catch
one.
your name.
Mike,
Mike.
and you are Rob?
Doug.
Doug, I apologize, Doug.
That's alright.
I should, you know, that's one thing I gotta do better.
I don't do good with names and faces either.
Am I following you, Chris?
Sammy, come on. How many times have I been over here? I've been over here 3 times already. Come on. Alright, I'll sit here silently. Sammy. I didn't antagonize her. I was sitting here calmly and
Sam,
quietly.
shush. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
so-
what were we talking about? We're still recording.
So, I guess that, like, you know, I just don't know. I just don't know why we can't question to find out on our own. Because it's kind of funny.
We can, and we
Well,
do.
no, get this, okay? My nephew went to South Point, class of 2013.
Actually, probably over here might be better. That thing's been soaking in the rainwater.
2002 and
Yeah.
1990, we graduated.
Hmm.
Okay, but I don't know if we lost faith with God when we left South Point because I stopped going to church. I stopped all the religion, and then when my nephew graduated, the same thing happened to him. He stopped going to church, even though we went faithfully every Sunday, and he stopped following God. I mean, is it?
It's not supernatural, really. Like anytime like somebody, um, gets out of a situation like South Point was, just I mean, it's
Constant bombardment.
faith. It's faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, they drive it into you, and not in a way that you would be resistant to it. But by the time you're done with it, you're like, okay. And especially by then, especially as a South Point kid, you start mingling with kids from other, school districts and shit, and like that have different backgrounds and shit. And so, like, you're like, oh wow, so it isn't just like this. So, like, there tends to, and especially with that age, it seems like I can only speak for myself, but when I was like 18, when I graduated, I was like, I'm gonna distance myself as far away from this as I can.
But,
You know what I mean?
but why would we do that? It would
It's
obviously
all like our
not
own
be in
reasons.
God's plan for have us
Well,
do that.
I'm not sure about that. Perhaps it was God's plan. Maybe it is God's plan that we stumble and trip through life and fall on our face and fuck up and have loss and struggle and realize how to cope with those things and how to like have faith that those things are going to be okay and believe in ourselves and like make it better, make your reality a better thing. You know what I mean? Because like I was telling you last time you were here, I think that it's all a common energy. It's the energy, the Most High is the common denominator that runs through every single one of us, and there's no denying it. So the better we are and to each other, the better we are to him or it or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? So I think that we as human beings spend way too much time trying to break shit like that down. You know what I mean? It's like we can like travel all the nooks and crannies and valleys and canyons of guilt and fucking everything that we want to regret because it feels better to be angry at ourselves about what we've done in the past than it does to just feel good about the fact that we made it and who we are now as a result of it. And so, like,
Well, I'm still the last time that I was here. You still believe that I'm still going through my trials and tribulations.
but it doesn't
Between
matter what I
God and-
think.
and
It matters
him.
what you think. It's not about what I think.
No, I mean what I'm saying is that you pointed out that you see that I'm where you were a long time ago.
Not
Trying
that
to
long ago,
find-
dude.
Well, trying to
See,
find
we go
the
through
difference
phases like
between
this in our
God
life.
and the devil.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: is like our situations may not be exact, but they mirror each other in certain ways, especially like spiritually. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whenever somebody gets to the point that they feel that downtrodden, that depressed, that just where everything and everybody is just like
Against you.
yeah, you just know it in your soul. They're fucking against you. I know it. And you can be right, because that's the whole illusion of the whole thing. Part of it is the part that the other side gets off on is the fact that you don't really know. You're not
Yeah,
really sure.
But
You want to believe that they're not, and you want to believe that they are, and it's always the ones closest to you.
but I mean that's the thing. Like, if if I know it's my family that's coming down on me hard, how do I how do I how do I follow the
Go inside.
well how do I tell God or Jesus, how do I tell him and say, I shall honor thy mother
Don't tell
and
him
father?
shit. Don't tell him anything. Go inside. Go inside you and
But
decide, like, what is it that you can do about the only thing you have control of, which is you. That's it. You don't have control of shit else. Fucking nothing, dude. We have control of absolutely dick. But you have control of you. And I guarantee you, if you make an adjustment, if you just make that one little tweak in how you are reacting in the situation, how you're composing yourself, how in the situation, you know what I mean? Are you calm? Are you rational? Or is what they're saying are they trying to throw you off so that you
they're
can't
trying to throw
fucking
me off.
right?
Yeah,
Don't
they're
let
trying.
them, dude. You gotta cut that shit off at the pass. You gotta believe, but you can't if you don't believe in yourself. And when you're talking to people that constantly fucking break you down, it's really hard to come at them from a confident standpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that
yeah, it
goes
is.
spiritually too. It's hard to look
Yeah,
your
but
fucking shortcomings in the
if I
face.
do that, when I believe in myself and I know that I'm the one that controls my own life,
Are you?
right?
If you are, that's what you have to be honest with yourself about.
Who is currently controlling my life is my family
Why?
because I'm letting them.
Exactly. That's exactly right. I'm glad you said that because
But
that's what was coming.
But when I tried to be my own self, like you're saying, I'm told I'm self-centered.
There's a difference in being yourself, right? And standing in your power. You know what I mean? You can act like yourself, but if you truly are standing within who you are and what you're supposed to be, then you don't give a shit. You're like, listen, I don't know what your drama is with me because you reach a place where you're at peace when you know you're not doing anything to aggravate the situation. The majority of it is most of the time it's their problem.
Well,
Sure, Mikey, lay it on me, brother.
Go ahead.
Forgive me interjecting here a couple of things. It just occurred to me first time right now. How many people are happy with our behavior ever?
Right.
At any one time, has anybody ever come up to you and said, "Man, you're knocking it out of the park"?
You are slaying it, dude.
Most of the time, there's always someone who is not happy with it,
Right.
Yeah.
regardless.
For some
But does it-
dumbass.
But
No.
Mike, does it have to be your own family? Does
Most
it have
likely,
to
it
be your
probably
own
will be
family?
those people
Most
that are closest
likely.
to you. It will, more often than not, if anybody's going to make a comment, it's somebody that's close and that knows you and is comfortable around
Because
you.
they know you.
You know, most of the time, somebody who's an acquaintance won't break your balls. You know, but somebody who's around you and sees you, and they're the ones that are most affected by your behavior. They're the ones who are most privy to your behavior as witnesses, etc. So that just makes sense. The other thing is that is incredibly made sense, but I've forgotten now because I've digressed so much. It just seems to me there's always, and when we meet our Lord, on that day, before our accuser and all that other stuff, who's going to answer aside from Christ? Nobody else is going to answer for the way we've behaved. Christ will answer for us in our stead, right? Okay.
So he'll say to my parents, like, this is the way
He
acted,
already
or-
said it.
It's
He already
everything's
did.
paid in full. Now we know that. What I'm trying to say is that if we were to answer, if we're held accountable, our accuser is going to hold who accountable? Us. Nobody else. Nobody of these people that aren't happy with us are going to carry our load, are going to bear our cross.
Fucking
except
right.
for Christ. So ultimately, between you and the Lord, ultimately you are the one that as far as being self-centered, that's a consequence of living.
Yeah, man.
Who's fully giving all the time?
When does it stop being survival and start being selfish.
And when is it enough? When is anybody, when is it you give,
Anybody
give,
happy?
give, and when is it enough to where anybody, they just saying, you know what, you've given so much, I can't ask you for
You can
know,
tell a dark person,
they
can't
won't-
you?
They
Bec-
won't cash in on
just-
you.
oh,
They won't
yeah.
tax you in that way.
They
What I'm
won't
saying is,
cash
there's
in on
more
you.
often than not, people are never going to have. You can never give enough to satisfy the majority of people. Those, there's the ones that'll tell you, you're too nice. What they're saying is to everybody but me.
Yeah.
You let them walk all over you.
Fishing.
But
They're
but
like,
you're not too
wing.
nice to me. And my thing is, you don't know why I did that. I didn't. You didn't get over on me. What I did that for, because I get, I've been mocked for being a Christian in the sense of, oh, Mike's not going to say no. He's a Christian. So you don't get it. I didn't
Yeah.
do that for you. I did that because the Lord said to.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
don't get it. They
they're-
totally
and they think,
don't get it.
And I say, just because I leave a door open, you don't have to walk through it.
No.
Right.
No.
You want a cookie, have a cookie, but know there's a limit.
Hey, do you guys
know?
care if I get this?
What?
No. Go
On
ahead.
camera so that
would
I
rather you.
It just means
No,
me
no,
turning
no.
the computer around.
That's fine. That I just would say that I've been accused of being selfish, but you know what? I'm people horn.
Do it.
I give a lot. In fact, my biggest fault with my spouse, her biggest complaint with me is that I don't say no. And
I don't either.
I don't tell
So
people
bad.
no enough, right? I'm always willing to help people to the point that it costs at home. It means that I'm
Yeah,
away
see-
again.
See, I'm the same way because I used to be an EMT, and I just can't do it. I can't see
That's a tough thing.
anybody. I can't see anybody suffer. I have to be there to help. I
That's
don't
who you
care
are.
if it's
That's who you are.
I don't care if it's small help or if it saves their lives. At least I can ease their pain as long as I can, as long as they're alive.
That's who you are. That's a fabric of your being. And I mean this 100%. I'm not blowing smoke. I'm so thankful that there are people on this planet that can do those things, because I myself am not. I don't think I could handle.
The blood and gore.
I couldn't be anywhere near a trauma ward or whatever.
The smells, dude.
Just all of the stuff that other people do and do so with vigor
Ease.
and
Like
and
it's
they do it with
fucking-
zeal, and that's what they are about.
Well,
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't
No.
either, brother.
no, I mean,
I'm with you
don't
100%.
get me wrong. You know,
The time
I still have a lot of bottled up hurt
you're human.
from people dying on me as an EMT.
Sure.
And I always ask myself, was there anything that I could have done more to help this person? And it just stays bottled up, and sometimes when it comes out, it's evil.
Well,
It's evil.
it's
Why
not
is
easy,
it
man.
evil?
I mean,
What makes
that's
it evil?
big
What do
time
you say?
stress.
Well, it's evil because it's evil to me, because it brings out the bad in me. It surfaces, and I don't know how to deal with it.
I don't know anybody, including toughest people in the world, like soldiers or hardened vets, that are not affected by death. Death affects all of us.
Fuck
You know?
yeah.
I mean, in life, that is. I mean,
If they say that they're not affected by death, then they're lying to
They're-
you.
Then
that or
that's, they're
they're
lying to
totally-
themselves and everybody else.
yeah, or they're
Because
hollow.
that's just bullshit. You know it's over as soon as you hear that. As soon as somebody says, "Oh,
Yeah. The clock is running. Yeah, as soon as that, I hear that, it's like, really, or the people say, "Oh, I don't care
Oh,
what
I
people
gave you
think." Sure you do,
and you did them.
but I can understand that. And hey, and anybody that doesn't understand that probably doesn't know you, or considered things like that. But there are a lot of people running around that are hurt by the grace of whatever,
Yeah.
that our heads are oblivious to all these things.
Yeah. They don't even think about what it would be like
Yeah,
to not
they don't put themselves
to
in
not
other
even
people's-
think. Like if your mind didn't even work in that way, where the depth of things and the magnitude of things like this even registered on your fucking radar. You know what I mean? Like, what if you just were like animals, and you just kind of did things because that's what you thought you should do right then. You know what I mean? Like, because like they do, they don't know if they don't ever think about whether or not God's mad at them or not.
Well, I mean, how could they actually understand?
Exactly.
I mean, that
So wouldn't that be blissful? Ignorance is
oblivious?
bliss.
Oh my
That's what
gosh.
they say.
At least we think it is. You know?
Right.
no, I don't think it would be blissful at all.
But look at
I
how
would
tormented
rather have a brain that I can think
that
for
you can
myself.
torment yourself with.
No, not torment myself with, to actually know that there is somebody up there that loves me. I want to have a brain that I can think for myself and know that there is somebody up
I
there
think you do.
that loves me. I don't want to be like a dog or a cat or a lion that doesn't know the difference.
Yeah, but you know
I don't
what?
want to go around haphazardly. Oh, what I'm supposed to do is kill that giraffe over there. It's like, I mean,
Nature-
what
Well,
kind
see,
of
that's the thing.
existence is
It
that?
would never enter my head to kill a giraffe
But I think that the Lord works through animals all the time.
all the time.
I mean,
That's straight up
for one thing,
all the
there's
time.
there's a few. Not to go on a different tangent, but who else is glad to see you every time? You know. And I do think that whatever place it is, it's probably someplace maybe lesser than angels or whatever. But I do think a lot of these animals are heaven sent. You know,
They are, for
they're
sure.
really a blessing. You know, in many ways.
Well,
This one right here can
Well,
pick up
did
seizures.
you ever think that maybe God had sent them to help control the human population?
Possibly. I
You
think
know,
they were made
and
back in
maybe
the day.
God had a hard time
I think they're
taking
teachers'
somebody's
aides,
life,
quite frankly.
and he sends like somebody and finds out that they're going to go on safari, and he sends a lion to go kill this guy because he's had a hard time trying to get it done.
I would,
You know?
I'm not. Gosh, I feel like I'm talking too much, but
No,
No,
you're
I
not at all.
I think
That's why I'm asking.
I liken it to the same thing as people who get in an airplane crash. God is like, I'm guessing now. You know, forgive me, Lord, but I think that you take those chances. The Lord never told us to fly.
Right.
Anything like that. We get on the freeway. We do whatever. We take crazy. We are surrounded by miracles in the hundreds every day that we don't see. So I think that like maybe that lion takes that guy out because it's a consequence of his actions.
Right.
And the Lord is like, well,
It's a
because
balance.
otherwise we lose that whole free will principle. Like God could make us worship Him, everybody.
But
Everybody.
it's
It's our
but
choice.
What's the joy in that? What's the
Right.
reward in that?
What's the point? Yeah, I can make more things to worship me. I want somebody to want to worship me, and that's where we come in. Hopefully,
And see, that's where the devil has come in, or the evil side of that energy has come in to just try to make it believable, make it okay to not believe, make it okay to like devalue God to the point where try to debunk him because nobody can debunk him all the way, right? But to debunk him so much in a way that becomes socially acceptable to not
I think
believe in him.
one of the biggest things, and this probably goes right in hand with Bob, is that we all, we're told this is our life. We're alive. We're unto ourselves, and we all want to be our own God, so to speak. For not capital G, but for the majority. And I think there's a lot of the reason that people are the non-believers or the ones who scoff at religion or faith or spirituality are people who want to believe that they are in charge of
Their own destiny.
everything is unto them.
They're in
I'm
control.
in control. I
I
decide.
got this.
I'm living
I
a good
got
life.
this. God,
Get out of my face,
I
Which
don't
is
need
fine.
that shit.
That's their choice, and that's between them and their God of their choosing, which might be themselves. And that's why Bub, that's why it's how easy it is. He
That's
knows
where
every
he
button to
comes
push
in.
for us.
Yeah.
It becomes just like, I know you want to control your life. It's your life. You're immortal. You're 19. You're 21. Whatever.
So
you
check
you'll
this
live
out.
forever,
Here's
do
some
whatever.
drugs. You want to do some drugs? You want
Right,
to
you
fuck
can
some
handle
girls?
this
You want to
stuff,
fucking? You got this. You got this.
You know.
Go down this road, man. It's
Here's some
much
candy.
easier. It feels a lot better. You know what I mean? But notice, and when you go down that path, it's always chaos.
Christianity is cool.
That's fucking gay.
Yeah,
They'll
you know,
say.
really, weak people need God.
Yeah.
Like whatever. It's when
You
I'm
know,
weakest.
and what's so funny is the shit that comes out of their mouth is exactly what's gonna fucking bitch slap them in the end, dude.
It's a shame.
Because they fucking don't realize
guys-
the slight against God that they do just in saying that shit. The very creator, whatever it is, it's too big
If
for us
they
to
knew.
fucking describe.
If
But
they knew. But
To slap your
last thing
creator in the
I'll
face.
say, you're right. Last thing, you guys were talking about South Point, right? How they were faith-based, cramming it.
they were,
Now, how well did it work?
dude.
It,
I'm still talking about it to this day.
well,
No, I mean, did you have a saving? You've got at least saving faith, at least. What I mean is, but to the degree you said they were like pushing it on you, and now how easily you turned to other things afterwards, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Or where you let it slide.
Right.
We've all done it.
yeah.
But what I mean is, so I
A
think
little
that
bit of both. I
them
would say.
jamming it and them running that like a mental brainwashing program
Daily.
really did very little. You either have your faith or you don't.
All I know is that when
Well-
when the shit hit the fan, I had it. When I needed it,
Amen.
it was fucking there. When I was down and I thought I was fucking, I had something to believe in.
Well, and a lot of people don't, and I'm sure you guys have that. Hopefully, every now and then I think, to me, I've really become a dirtbag lately. I used to be happier, and now I'm a grumpy, old, pessimistic, cynical. I very little wine is coming out of this vessel, and it's sad because
because when I left South Point and I got all that stuff crammed into me, I said, why can't I believe in God in my own way? I mean,
My own
why do
understanding.
I have to follow the Christian and Catholic Church? Why don't I have God come to me and tell me how He wants me to
Because
believe
the
in
Most
Him?
High doesn't
maybe that
chase.
happens.
Yeah, maybe he
maybe
does.
Maybe that what I'm saying is maybe you definitely, each of us, we all get to believe in the Lord our own way. There are, I would say that in what ways do you majorly differ? Because there are things that are in our Western, and I'm going to specify our Western Bible, that specifically say, well, I am the way, the truth, and the light. No one comes to the Father except by me. Now, Christ is accepted in many teachings in Hinduism, or I think it's they
Even
they
Islam.
regard Christ as being a major prophet, And now, this is where I'm puzzled too, But I have to trust that God's words did not return to Him void. My will be done.
And if he's always on
So,
your tongue, then you
If there's faith, if you have whatever you attribute as faith or whatever, because it seems to me you're not sure as far as like the difference between whatever the way you want to grow in your faith, or
compartmentalize.
the way you consider your belief or your faith, whatever. I'm getting the sense that it's different from what you're taught in church, etc.
Catholicism.
Well, I haven't given up on Christianity. I mean, I still use it every night to guide me,
Right on.
but I choose differently on how to take in that guidance, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
I
So
think
how you interpret it, your
Right.
perspective of it.
Well, you
Right.
know what? The Bible is very much misinterpreted. There are a lot of Christians that are way off the base.
Yeah, man.
That they will not. In fact, they won't even. They're like, excuse me.
And
won't even
Jesus talks about
entertain
him.
that you
Yeshua
might be
talks
correct.
about him.
If you look at, George Carlin, of all things, who
Yeah.
I believe was raised
So
Catholic
great.
and hateful of
He
religion
did not like
and the
religion
church,
at all. No, he
And
did not.
he
Yep.
likened the Bible as a science fiction.
Yeah.
But if you
Star
look at it
Wars
with
kind
what
of
we
shit.
know today to be true, it is a science fiction book. There were no words for craft. There were no words for the things that we experience to this day. you know, when the angels appeared or these beings appeared, angel means messenger, by the way, in Greek.
Right.
And when they would go prone and prostrate and be in fear. Now I know if I saw a being as described in the Bible, I would be shitting my pants.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do think that I think what we know as what we're calling extraterrestrials or aliens or whatever some of them are working.
I believe
Well,
that.
they have to be, because there's been so much Egyptian hieroglyphics of drawings and
A
stuff
tank.
of beings or
An
something
attack helicopter.
coming
Yeah,
down. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's why they always had a glow around their head
There's
and
a
stuff
lot.
like that.
There's a lot to it.
In the Capitol building, there's a picture on the ceiling of the rotunda, I think, and I forget, but it's got a UFO in it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, we're talking about ancient knowledge, man, and it's somewhere. Someone has it. You know what? You were talking about
how
the
is it
Templar
that
the
we
other night.
how is it that we can describe people that said that they've seen the light? How do we know that that light isn't like some alien trying to transport
It
us
could
out?
very well be whatever it is. It's a higher being.
Who's the Mormon guy?
Smith,
He's supposedly
Joseph Smith.
appeared the angel of light. Well, I'm not saying that it didn't happen to him.
Right. I'm not saying
Right,
that.
I
either.
ain't saying that it's not
To
happening
be
to other people.
close-minded, you know, to be close-minded, like so many people who are, I guess, God-seeking in their own right,
Right.
but they just will not even entertain.
The idea.
You know, well, no, that was a vision. It was in a dream. What do you mean? Then why did he just, he described it as the sound of many waters. There was thrust, it was some kind of craft.
Yeah.
That Elijah, I think it was Ezekiel maybe, okay,
Uh,
talking about,
the
the
one that
wheel
was
within a wheel.
taken away. Yeah, the
Yeah.
wheels and the wheels with the
He was
eyes and
describing
all
some
that.
kind of craft, man.
Yeah, he totally
the sound
is.
of many waters, maybe it's
Like the
Niagara
rushing
Falls.
of the ocean.
It's similar to like a rocket ship taking off that we have.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying that so many people won't even entertain that. Won't even entertain that.
Well, see, now that's just silly because I think that the truth lies somewhere in between that. That the truth is that there's truth to both sides.
Well, sure. I mean,
And
yeah.
we're what it always comes down to is we as human beings, the grand experiment, we are the ones that always continue to suffer for this. We continue to suffer until we fucking raise ourselves to whatever vibration that is. And you know what I mean? Like, because clearly they're around.
Well, friend, me and you both know the thought that the Son of God was actually the Son, the actual physical
Yeah.
Son.
Our star.
Yeah.
Hey, hush! You're a big
I don't know
fat
if that's a scientific
Right,
way of
yeah.
looking at it, but
And science is part of religion. Shut up! I think religion is the original way that they describe shit. I'm gonna fucking kick your ass.
I don't think that we make God angry either. I think that maybe as God used to get angry with Israel, the nation, and the nation suffered when God wrath, etc. But I don't think
at the end of Amos, isn't it? Amos?
Maybe I'm not
Because
sure.
he started.
When he took
God kept on wiping away the land that his children or the Israelites kept on going to.
chosen.
He says, "Oh, no, gonna wipe that clean. You're not gonna go there
You're
anymore."
going to be taken away in captivity until you get it
Yeah.
together, for an indefinite amount of time.
Yeah.
40 years in the desert because Moses got pissed off and smacked the rock.
You know what though?
I mean, what
the whole
happens is
story
we
still
don't.
applies.
I don't think we disappoint God at all
I don't think so
because
either.
He's not impressed by us.
No,
We
no,
don't.
no,
The only thing that moves God is faith.
The only
Right.
thing that's going to impress
Well,
God
I
about us is if we're impressed with ourselves.
And if
You know?
well, I guess, but I was, I have to think about that.
Because that's just it. That's why. Do you know that in Islamic text, there's a spot in it somewhere. I don't know where it is, but it was quoted to me the other day. That said that Jesus appeared in Islam, wherever that is. The Middle East or whatever. that way back then. It was supposedly during the time of his 40 days and 40 nights that he spent being, questioned in spiritual court, as it were, with the devil and his dad presiding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so,
But he was
which
tempted, yeah.
every human being goes through, right? Think about it. Jesus' journey, it's the fool's journey and the hero's journey, all in one. You know what I mean? It all starts. Jesus' life didn't even start till the second he had to step off the cliff. And then on the way, he met a high priestess.
Like an oracle.
Yeah, like an oracle. Ended up in wherever that text was written and said that we ourselves collectively are the Most High. That's
Yeah.
what they meant.
Well, we are.
The last time I was over here, I asked you, why doesn't the Bible mention Jesus as a young boy? And my dad corrected me when I told him that. He says the Bible does.
What?
That's when he walked into the mosque,
Yeah.
and started teaching
Mhm.
to
At
the higher
12.
ones,
Yep.
to the highest priests.
Yep.
And they were listening to him.
But you know what? He wasn't spouting off
No,
Judaism
no.
or Christianity. He was talking about something completely different. And it fucking scared everybody.
But when
From that time till the time he grew up.
he went back to Nazareth or Bethlehem or someplace, when he went back to his hometown, I think I forget, maybe Nazareth, and he read. He says, "And I tell you, in your presence today, the scripture is fulfilled." And they freaked. That was one of them. But as a child, yeah, he was 8 years old or something.
Yeah,
When he
super
was
young.
taken in to observe some kind of holiday that Joseph they honored, and they went there, and he went into the synagogue
The synagogue.
and started laying it down.
Laying it down. Imagine if you had been there to see that.
Like
I wish there was a time machine. I think that I would. I think that I would go back there just to find out, how it was. Maybe cheer on Jesus as he was carrying that cross.
Yeah, but would you if you didn't know who he was?
Yeah, I
If you
think
didn't
I
know
would.
Jesus
I
was
think I
Jesus,
would.
Would you how would you know?
I'd like to think so too. However, I know where you're coming from
Yeah, I
because
do
even
too.
the best of intentions can be. Well, who was it? Who in other words, no,
There had
get
to be.
behind me.
yeah.
This has to happen.
Right.
That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You know,
There has to have been something about this cat, right?
totally.
Because these guys didn't have to follow his ass either.
And even and when push comes to shove, they were like, Peter.
Like, I got an old lady and
I was just hanging out
everything.
with him,
Yeah, I got a life of my own, you know what I mean? I'm not really into traipsing
times
off
a night.
into the fucking wilderness, you know what I mean? And going on tour, with you 12.
Interesting you mentioned time travel because I think that one of the properties of God is what I don't know. Now they're saying Einstein might be
The quantum.
Well, that he could travel back anywhere in time. And how else could you be omniscient? If you can go back and forward in time,
That's
omniscient, like
right.
omniscient.
That's true.
Like if you can go back and forth in time, you know the end from the beginning. You know this, you know that, or anything you needed to know, you certainly could by, just warping or folding
Right.
space. I don't need to know the science. In other words, I
Me
often say
neither.
this, people ask questions. Well, how did this happen? Like, hey, if they were writing how, they might still be writing.
And they
Because
are.
I don't know how,
And they will
but because the
continue
will,
to.
well, you know what? There's something cool if you want to look it up. Sonoluminescence.
Sonoluminescence.
They take a bubble and they suspend it in some liquid, and then they put a they put a sound wave through it. The bubble expands and contracts so fast it begins to it has light. It's like a star. Now, when you think about the story of creation, it was spoken, sound. Let there be, and then there was light.
Sound and light.
And it's called sonoluminescence. It's on YouTube. So plenty of videos on it. It is so cool. Because see, the more science advances, the more it begins to prove scripture.
Yeah.
The more advanced science gets, the more it proves.
Yeah, it justifies a lot of it. Who is that
I
cat?
gotta catch a bus, buddies. I'm sorry,
Man, it's all good. It's all good.
But
I
it's
can
good to
come.
see you.
I can come pick you up or something if you want to hang out.
I do. I'm helping
Nice
somebody
meeting
move.
you.
Likewise, a nice talking with you.
Okay.
I'm helping somebody move. They gotta clear out their storage tomorrow morning. So that's where I am going.
Word. Well, hit me up, brother.
Tune that bad boy up, though.
Yeah, man. We should. We got to get together, man.
Thank you, brother.
I got some tunes bubbling in me. I feel it, brother.
Good.
Be awesome.
Actually feeling a little better.
Great. That's awesome. So Billy was telling me, I hit Billy up and I invited him to come over and hang out with me, too.
What a really nice man.
Yeah, that's my lead
very-
guitar
he's-
player.
He's very open. I like meeting people that are open-minded. I just don't like seeing closed-minded people. They
Mikey's-
gotta understand that not just with
Mike's
religion,
got a lot of
but
faith.
with science and being open to everything.
Mikey's
that
got a lot
we,
of faith.
we cannot be open-minded and expected to learn what we're supposed to know how to learn.
Yeah, we can be. That's the whole thing. We can be open-minded.
No, that's what I'm saying. If we aren't open-minded, then how do we expect to learn?